Hi guys, we're back out here at Lake City today. Wanted to do a follow-up on our habitat restoration program that we've been doing. Everything's greened up a lot right now, so it's kind of hard to see, but all those treetops that was down here in this valley, they're just piles of ash and rock now. Went through and planted a lot of Lespedeza and some Sudan grass and stuff over it, and it's all starting to sprout pretty good. It turned off kind of dry around here for a few weeks, but we got the seed in the ground early enough that it all sprouted and it's been doing good. So I'll walk you on back in here and show you some of what we planted and stuff. Got out here yesterday and done a little bush hogging. Didn't get to finish up. The bush hog, the blade fell off, so got to get that put back on. You can see we left a few of these small piles. We figured it would be good for the baby rabbits and stuff. You know, if the dogs are running them pretty hard, that rabbit, he needs a break, and they can run up into this and, you know, squat for a minute and get them a breath and shoot on out the other side. Dogs can come through, not stacked too tight. It's good to have some brush piles, but the main thing that we was having problems with, you can see there's one right there, is these trees start growing up into the brush piles. If you don't get those trees out within a few years, that little bitty tree right there will turn into, you know, a big tree like that. We actually need to hinge cut this tree right here. If you go in and cut it about, you know, 4 feet off the ground and leave a piece of this tree attached, you know, don't cut it all the way through and just lay it over on its side, the tree will still stay green and it's still alive, but it's providing ground cover. You don't need cover way up here 14, 16 feet up for rabbits. You need ground cover. So that's something we need to do. I'll walk you down here. This was some of the biggest piles right here. This was one that I put in the last video. It was way overhead high. It's probably 10 feet high. And you can see it's just burnt down to the bigger logs. And if you look right here, you can see our seedlings starting to come up. That is Korean Lespedeza. And once that Lespedeza gets up and established, it'll just blanket right over top of these logs. And man, that's great cover, you know, for a rabbit. He can tunnel up in there, build his nest. Works out really good. So you see the same thing here. We got pretty open field, you know, all around, kind of in a horseshoe, and right up the middle you got good cover. You can see every bit of this is that Lespedeza. It has done the best. Now that stuff, it's eventually going to get up between knee and waist high, and what it does, it makes tunnels through it. The rabbits, they can tunnel up in there, they eat it. It lasts a lot longer than some of your switchgrasses and stuff in the winter time. It'll keep a blanket effect over the top and the tunnels through the middle. So it's kind of a controversial thing. A lot of biologists and stuff, they say it's you know, a non-native species, and to plant the other stuff. But we found if you plant your native grasses up on top of the ridges, it grows good, provides good cover. But on this rougher ground down here on these hillsides, Lespedeza is hard to beat. So it's all about providing a good balance, you know, cover to feed ratios, stuff like that. But I'll show you the last part of our project here. And this one is a pretty big problem. Yesterday, I was bush hogging the front pen, and I had a couple dogs down. Well, I went to catch them after I was done bush hogging, and I walked over the hill because I was wanting to check this Lespedeza, and came over the hill, and I could hear, I keep bells on a few of them, and I could hear bells down here in the woods below me. Well, I got to calling, and sure enough, all of them came running right up, and I reached over, grabbed them, put them back over on this side, and as I was doing that, Star, she went right back to the hole and found that hole right there. So we're going to patch it up. Hopefully the rabbit came back into the pen last night. If not, we'll set some traps this winter and hopefully catch him and get him back in his home. But you can't have holes in your running pen wire, you know. It's a good way to not only lose your rabbits, but also your dogs. So me and John, we've already patched 2 or 3 up through here. This old fence, it's literally almost as old as I am. They said it was put in 1992, so you know, 32 years of sitting out here in the weather and stuff. It's starting to get some holes in it, but I'm gonna patch that up, and yeah, I figured I'd give y'all an update.